What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast, and today we have episode 139. And man, my friends, the title says it all. This has been the talk of the week since this news dropped. Can the Cavs get LeBron back for one last ride, one last shot on this team? We're going to be having all of the discussions about that, all of the discussions about some of the trade buzz and even some of the trades that have been made over the last 48 hours, signings, all the good stuff. The league has shifted quite a bit in the last few days. So, Drew, I know last time we didn't really get to talk much about this because this wasn't really like in our wheelhouse. It wasn't really in the ballpark. But this was always kind of like, I think, in the back of every legit Cavs fan's head. So this is going to be a fun one. But before we get into it, I don't want to get too into it yet. Give the good shout out to the boys at Effortless Wins.
Yes, everybody, check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and plays to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. The links are in the description. Code JustBSN26 for the discount. Greg is back. He was out due to some personal reasons. He is back. And I mean, he's just back to where he left off, cashing plays and stuff like that. So, guys, now is the time to jump into the Discord and get those plays because he is back. He is back with a vengeance. He is cashing. I mean, since he's been back, I think he's like 9-2 is his record right now since he's been back. So he's been back. He's been smashing it. Guys, go and check it out. We're in the midst of the World Cup right now. MLB. We got 2 more weeks until I believe it's the All-Star game in 2 weeks. So that's coming up. I mean, we're in the midst of baseball, World Cup. MLS will start back up once the World Cup's over. We're in the midst of golf and tennis and every single sport you can possibly think of. Now is the time to get into some sports betting, and now is the time to join Effortless Wins to get some advice and some of those plays to help you win. So just do it.
Just do it, man. Listen, just do it, but do it responsibly.
Responsibly,
all right?
yes.
Do not bet like a moron. Do not bet your house on something stupid. Be responsible. Be smart. Understand what you're doing. Be comfortable with the risk versus the reward, because it is very enticing to see a $5 bet going for, $500. But then when you multiply that and you say, oh, I want to put 100 on that, then that's when you're starting to get into some dangerous territories. Be careful.
Yes.
Be responsible. We are never going to tell you guys to just bet like crazy. If you're going to do it responsibly, please be 21 and older. And above all, be smart. Be smart. So thank you guys once again at Effortless Wins for always tuning us in and giving us tons of love as well, because they've been really supportive of us as well. So we do appreciate them. So, Andrew, I want you to kind of lead the floor here, because I already started this conversation. But obviously, getting back to the LeBron sweepstakes, there is a few names in this hat from what we kind of understand about what's going on. But after LeBron went to the Lakers and said, "Hey, I'm done. I am going to go play somewhere else, but I'm going to continue my basketball career. It's just that's not going to be with you." This was, I think, a lot of fans were seeing this, sort of play out since last year, after the way that they were starting to prioritize Luka over LeBron at this point in his career, which is smart. It's odd, it's obvious, but obviously trading away AD and all of the other things that they have done, this was leading to an eventual breakup. And LeBron now ends his 8 or 9 year tenure with the Lakers, and now has a chance to go either back home or he has a chance to go somewhere else. I know there's a few names out there: Golden State, Miami. I know the Spurs were kind of there. They're out of it. I think another dark horse was going to be Denver, and now obviously Philly, after making the moves they've made, could very well get back into this as well. What are your thoughts on not just what LeBron should do, but what you actually believe, like 100%, that LeBron will do at this point?
Well, I'm immediately going to cancel out the West Coast teams or the Western Conference teams, because there is no shot you're going to go to a team like Golden State and play with a bunch of old guys and Jimmy Butler, Draymond, Steph, and compete against a young Spurs team, a young OKC team, you're just going to get swept or you're going to lose pretty bad. He wants to go to a team where he has the opportunity to compete for a championship. So I'm removing all Western Conference teams from that mix, unless he were to go join like San Antonio or something. Then that'd be the only team I can see like, okay, that makes sense. It's a team that's a title contending team. Obviously, they were just in the finals. Makes complete and total sense. But if San Antonio's not in the mix, then none of the Western Conference teams are in the mix, just because of how dominant San Antonio and OKC are going to be for the next few years. So that leaves basically all the East Coast teams. Well, you could cancel out the half that aren't even playoff contenders or barely play-in contenders. So that leaves teams like Cleveland, leaves teams like Philly, leaves teams like Miami. And I believe those are really the three legitimate teams that have a shot at LeBron is Cleveland, Philly, Miami, just because of how good they are. Obviously, let's start with Philly. Philly just got Jaylen Brown after trading Paul George to Boston. So Philly gets Jaylen Brown. They have a good team as it stands right now with Joel, Jalen, Tyrese Maxey, VJ, Edgecombe. They have a good squad. Then you look at Miami. Well, Miami just traded the house for Giannis Antetokounmpo, so now you have Bam Adebayo, Antetokounmpo, and that team looks pretty good. But the downside to Miami is that they have traded away basically everybody else, so they have no bench, no basically other starters or whatever. So that team kind of needs a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And then the other remaining team is, of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers, his hometown team. This would be the third homecoming of LeBron James. And again, it's a team that makes sense just for the fact that Cavs were in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. They were one step away from the finals. They have the opportunity to keep all the core pieces together and bring in LeBron. So again, you would have Mitchell, Harden, LeBron, and I think the only thing you might trade away to get LeBron would be Jared Allen. So you would still have Jared Allen. You'd get rid of Jared Allen. You still have Evan Mobley. And you still have a pretty solid bench. And you would just build the bench. And at that point, all you would have to do is just build the bench.
Yeah.
So for me, my top two would most likely be either Philly and Cleveland, just because of how stacked both of those teams are.
Yep.
But I think I would give the edge to Cleveland because, again, it's not just because we're Cleveland fans, but it's just the fact that it makes sense. It's home. He's always said he wants to retire in Cleveland. It just makes complete and utter sense that he would return to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I know all of us here in Cleveland have been manifesting it for the last 8 years. And I know Nick Padone said he's the only one who manifested it. If you saw that tweet, it was horrendous, but he said he was the only one who thought of this, even though 90% of the city thought of it.
I was about to say, we've technically like made comments about it in the past. Like I've always been a guy that's been like, I can easily see LeBron finishing his career here. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So, but yeah, that's my take. Is I think LeBron is coming back to Cleveland. It makes sense, and because again, this is a team that was just a short step away from the finals.
Yeah,
and he wants to go to a title contending team. And as it stands, Miami, Cleveland, and Philly would probably be the only ones to compete with New York at this rate. So, and he's not going to New York, and everyone knows that. So, it's just one of those things of which he's going to choose, and I think he would be better suited coming home.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes just a lot more sense in general anyway for him to come home because I feel like you have less stress coming back to Cleveland, because you have the options with this team available to not have to be the main guy. And
Exactly.
that's part of his shtick right now. That's one of the things that we're hearing that he doesn't want is he wants other scoring options on the team. He doesn't want to have to take on as much of the load as he has over the years. I mean, look at what he's done over his entire career. He's always been number one, or at the very least number two. But honestly, for 90% of his career, it's been number one. The only reason why it wasn't was because at the end he had Luka, and Luka was a guy that could drop 40 points at any given time too.
But Luka's problem is he wasn't healthy.
Wasn't healthy when he needed to be, and LeBron still won them that series against Houston when nobody thought that they would, even with KD out. They thought Houston was going to be the better team, and LeBron still played the way that LeBron plays every year. So I think it just makes the most sense. I hope that the Cavs don't have to give up a whole lot to get LeBron, because you still need as many options around him as you can. You want him to be able to play through the season and get breaks, get opportunity for rest. But I think one of the other notes that, and again, this kind of gives me the whole thing that I really do think he wants to come back to Cleveland, is you're hearing that he's trying to get partnered up with some sort of live streaming and being able to document his last year. Wouldn't you think he would only do that even more so if he's going to Cleveland? Because that's the story right there. That's the storybook ending is you start or you end where you started.
Yeah.
And I just think that overall that paints that picture. The only way that he decides that he doesn't want to come here is if he really honestly believes that the roster, itself is not fit to win or do what he wants to do. But I just think he'll be happier here. I mean, if he goes to Philly, he's not going to really be that happy. Like, he's going to be happy that they're winning a little bit more, but I don't know how the dynamic is going to be like for him and Jaylen Brown. I mean, Jaylen Brown said all of that stuff about Bronny a few years ago, and LeBron said he's cool with them, but how real do you think that is? We don't know. There's just a lot of different things to go about this. So I think it's down to, Cleveland, Golden State, and Miami. Those are the three teams that I think are all realistic. I honestly think Miami is closer to second than Golden State is, because I don't think there's other than the fact that you get to play with Steph Curry, you're not competing in the West. You've already been in the Western Conference for the last 8 years, and you've seen how difficult it is to win compared to what it was in the East. And the East is getting better. New York's going to be what they are. Indiana is going to come back and be a very good basketball team this year, probably top 4 or 5.
Yeah, because Halliburton's back.
And now you have Miami getting Giannis. They're going to at least be a top 5 or even 6 team at the very least. They'll probably be top 4. Boston's probably going to take a step back. But they're probably still going to be pretty good if Tatum can stay healthy and still be productive. And then we'll see what Paul George does and what the rest of their roster looks like. But now you have Philadelphia. And you also have teams like Charlotte who are scrappy. The Bulls are going to be scrappy. There's been some good moves in the East that have really, strengthened that entire conference. And the Cavs are the one team that has not done anything yet. They're kind of waiting for the dominoes to fall. And that could limit LeBron to his choices and when he makes that choice. But I think the Cavs are currently trying to look within the more trade space right now. And that's what we're hearing. We're hearing a lot of those rumors. We're hearing names like Jonathan Kuminga, who could be a sign and trade candidate. Obviously, LeBron technically is a sign and trade candidate as well, because he can always, sign with LA and then get traded if they so please. Hopefully that doesn't come to that. Hopefully they can get Harden to take a little bit less money and say, hey, if you really want to take some less money, we can still add to this and continue building on the back part of this roster like we need to.
Well, and that's why Harden rejected the option, because he said he specifically said, I'm rejecting the option to help Cleveland get LeBron back.
Yeah.
So he even said that he's doing it so he can get LeBron, so the Cavs can get LeBron back, and that he can restructure his deal around LeBron, so that way they can make everything work. Um, because hell, this is James Harden's probably last chance too of making the finals,
Yeah.
and he probably wants to do it just as bad as LeBron does.
Yeah.
So now you have two guys who are motivated, and Harden is doing you a solid right now.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Cavs, I'm like, listen, as long as LeBron's not signed by LA right now, you could afford to keep everybody and just sign him to whatever contract he wants. I know he said he's willing to take less money.
Mm-hmm.
And he said this might not even be his final season right now. So it might be a year with an option. And you could get him with the year with an option, maybe just around maybe 10 mil or just slightly under. Yeah, I would say 8 to 10 mil. And if you can get LeBron for 8 to 10 mil without a sign and trade, you've kept your starting five.
Yeah.
And just added LeBron to it.
Yeah.
So, and that's even more deadlier because, again, we talked about moving Mobley or moving Allen. Now you get to keep both.
Yeah.
And you add LeBron to the starting 11. And you know how much LeBron's going to make them both better, just like James Harden did? If you thought James Harden was good at lobbing balls to Mobley and Allen, LeBron's just as good.
Yeah. I mean, just look at his tape with guys like Tristan Thompson.
Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah, Timothy Mozgov. And even, AD and all those guys that they had. I mean, I know they didn't have a lot of bigs.
Bosh,
and now,
yeah.
But of course, now that he's left LA, now LA has two really good bigs, and Ayton and Kessler.
Yep.
They've made some changes, and the Lakers actually look better now than they did before LeBron made his choice. So this also kind of benefited them as well, because instead of putting all that money into LeBron, they were able to start making some moves. So, again, this has been a very unique offseason, and it's been fun because a lot of these moves have reshaped the way that the rest of the NBA works, especially after New York won, where OKC isn't perfect. They lost to the Spurs after looking as dominant as they've ever been over the years. You obviously have that, have the Spurs in the West that are going to be really, really good. And, again, Minnesota, the most underrated move to me is LaMelo Ball going to Minnesota. Him and Ant are going to be a fun duo to have, especially if the fact that they kept McDaniel as well. That Minnesota team is going to be fiery. They are going to be fun. They're going to be a top 4 team in the West all year long, and they're going to be fun. I love watching Ant play. I think he's one of the most fun guys to watch in the league. Because he plays very explosive. He's a very athletic freak of nature, and he kind of plays a little bit like LeBron, but has a much better shot than LeBron ever did at that point in his career. And so it's just a lot of fun to see a lot of the different players starting to really branch out and be much better than they were. This league is going to be a fun one this year. But to get back to the Cavs talk, I mean, I think if you're going to get rid of anybody, it's going to be guys like Max Strus. It's going to be guys like Schroeder, like guys that you can kind of dump off a little bit of the bad contracts or the money that you don't need. Like Schroeder is hands down going to be a trade candidate. Whether it's going to be a trade dump and then he goes and does whatever is fine. But the Cavs just have to free up more space. And I think that's all, that's what they're going to have to do. And that's why they couldn't keep guys like Wade, because Wade was going to get paid somewhere. And as much as some people like Dean Wade, I know you and I have been very vocal about our stance on Dean Wade and basically not wanting him to be a part of this team. We were done with the Dean Wade experiment for years. So I'm happy that he's gone. I know people are going to miss his defense, but I'm not going to miss his 6.5 points a game. I'm not going to miss the fact that he doesn't shoot enough threes. And then when he does, he bricks every single one. It's very rare that he made any more than 1 or 2 a game. it was just like having a larger Okoro that's less athletic on the basketball team. And as good on defense as that helps you, it limits you on offense, and it limits the way that other defenses can approach you, because now there's only a certain bit of guys that you need to actually hone in on and worry about on offense when you have those guys on the floor. So for me, I think the Cavs should try to focus a little bit too in some of these sign-in trades on finding another big. We have too many guards. I don't know why we keep getting more guards. Even the kid that we drafted, who is going to be a fun kid, like he's going to be a fun little experiment to have. He's a baller,
But a
but
guard.
he's a guard, and you didn't need another freaking guard. You just didn't. You need small forwards and you need power forwards.
Yeah,
Like, you have centers.
you need
Technically,
size.
you have three, but you need a power forward who has that stretch capability, who can defend the 3 and the 4, and also shoot some threes and make them. So going after a guy like a Herb Jones or like a Trey Murphy, like somewhere within that caliber, would have been perfect. And the Cavs can still do that if they include certain guys. But if that also means offloading Jared Allen in that deal, then that may be a consequence that you may have to have, because you could still start Thomas Bryant if you really choose. Or if you want to start smaller and have Mobley at the 5, get somebody like LeBron to be the 4, if that's going to be the move. Like, whatever the Cavs want to do, they can do. They just have to be smart about it and not be so naive to the fact that you can't keep stock loading guards if you're just not going to be able to have the size. And ever since LeBron left, you haven't had anybody at the wing to even use that's larger than 6'6". I mean, we had Max Strus starting at the 3 with 2 other smaller guards and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Like, that's why teams could bully you, because you didn't have size. Despite Max Strus's amazing effort on defense every night, his size limits him, and his lack of consistency in shooting limits him. So he's just he's another guy that Cavs fans are gonna hate to see go, but they might love what they get back. And so I think that's going to be a name you're going to hear. And I mean, if you can go out and get a Jonathan Kuminga, that can be a game changer. Like, that can be a wing that you can bring in, who, even though it doesn't have that bigger size, is at least a scorer and at least a little more capable to either come off the bench or start immediately and be productive. So the Cavs have options. They have plenty of options. They just have to do it right. I think that's why they're being a little more slower in this, realm of everything. So that way they don't have to worry about what is to come, which obviously could very well be LeBron. And I mean, a lot of the current betting odds are the Cavs are up there, and everybody that has a basketball brain is like, it just makes sense for him to go back to Cleveland. Like,
what's the odds?
I'm not sure the exact odds. I just know he's favored. Let me look here. Kalashi has him going to Cleveland at 40%, so pretty much a 6-3 odd. And then Golden State is next at 32, Miami at 14, and then Philly at 6.
I saw earlier that Kalashi had they switched from Golden State to the Cavs as the favorites.
Yeah.
So, but no, I agree. Like, the Cavs really truly need a 3-and-D wing. It's what they desperately need. And you had the defensive part with Dean Wade. You just didn't have the 3 part. And again, yeah, he was the high percentage 3-point shooter in the playoffs. But the problem is he would shoot like 2 a game, because it seemed like he was afraid to shoot the ball the entire game, because he had like 5 open chances and he just never take them. So you need a true 3-and-D wing. And like you said, going after someone like Trey Murphy would be phenomenal. Yeah. It's just about building and, taking your time and figuring out what you really need and what you can really do with the pieces that you have. Because like you said, it's going to take trading someone like Strus or Schroeder or somebody to get that kind of 3-and-D wing. And, obviously you add LeBron and everything, and it just all makes sense. So it's just the Cavs just need to take their time, make sure everything's right, make sure they're well within, the cap space regulations, within the second apron, first apron, whatever.
Yeah.
And that they could complete these types of deals.
Yeah. And I do want to note one other thing as well is that a lot of the talk with LeBron's like the things that he's starting to factor into choosing his next team is happiness. Like he wants to be happy. I just feel like he's only going to be happy in Cleveland. And the reason that I say that, I go back to the last time he played in Cleveland. If you recall, when he was there and they did that tribute, he was bawling his eyes out. He was clearly trying to hide it, but he couldn't hide it. He knows that in the end, Cleveland is the only team that night one, everybody's going to be hyped. That crowd's going to sell out, and they're going to be like, thank God he's back for one last ride. And that's why I even said on our TikTok page, which if you guys don't follow it, please do. Just BS and Pod on TikTok. Don't forget. Quick plug. But I said this. I was like, even if LeBron doesn't win us a title in the year that he's here, or the 2 years that that he's here, it still is going to be better for his career and his legacy coming here than going anywhere else. Like going anywhere else, he's just at that point. He's doing what like Jordan did, where it was just like, oh, he's playing to like play, but he's not really like taking it seriously. If LeBron comes back to Cleveland, he's also going to be like still ready to play and be like, yeah, you know what? Like I want us to try to win one more. Like that would be dope. Like, could you imagine how much bigger his entire career would look finishing out just like a guy like Peyton Manning did on top? Just ending his his career with one last title, that would be dope. And then that would make 5. So then you're putting yourself in Kobe's range, and you're putting yourself near Shaq and stuff, and you're getting closer to Jordan. And it's like that's a way to go out. So for me, like I don't think he's getting that in Philly. I don't think he's getting that in Golden State, and he could get that in Miami. But he even said it like being in Miami is only so fun for so long. Like. It's going to depend on where his family wants to be. And I'm not sure his family is going to want to be in or around the Miami area. I think they want to come back to Cleveland. I think they want to be around family, and they want to enjoy themselves for once. And I wouldn't blame him. Like I wouldn't put it past him. And he's been in the Akron, Cleveland area for the last week or so now. Like my brother, his buddy said that he works at Firestone, and he was like, yeah, LeBron was there getting
you got a membership at Firestone. Yeah.
And it costs some money to get a membership at Firestone if you don't know. Like it costs a pretty penny. It's a couple $100,000 to do that apparently. And he was golfing several times, and he's going to yoga classes and shit. All of this stuff going on in Cleveland while also hanging out at the crib in Bath.
Yep.
Like he's staying here because he's like, man, maybe I should. And again, not even just as a Cavs fan, but just as a general like fan in general of the NBA, it just makes sense. I feel like if you go to Golden State, it actually ruins the rivalry that we had with them. It ruins the whole mindset of like, okay, what exactly is his career? Because if you go to Golden State, then it's this guy's just constantly trying to hop to like the best team that he could possibly go with and play with these great teams. He can come to Cleveland, be a really good leader, and also actually contribute still to the team without playing an integral part and playing 38 minutes a night, where instead LeBron can play 28 to 30 minutes, especially under Kenny Atkinson. I mean, shoot, Kenny was playing Donovan like 32 minutes a night for the most part throughout the season this year. He's not going to play LeBron a crap ton unless LeBron asks to, basically.
Yeah.
And he's not going to want to, especially during the regular season. Like LeBron's going to want to take it slow. He's going to want to try to stay healthy and, get his and then go on, about his business. But LeBron can facilitate. He can play with the second unit, and it just gives you another option to, again, add to the depth of this Cavs team, who has some depth. They've lost some depth here, but they have an opportunity to really strike. And I think the Cavs fully understand that. And I think you're going to hear about it probably within the next day or two. If not, it's going to be the weekend. I'm curious though, just for you to just guess, how long do you think LeBron's going to take to make this decision? Truly, because we know how LeBron does things. Like he tries to pick certain days or do certain things
Mm-hmm.
because that's how he's always been. He's been the guy that wants all of the attention when he wants it. So how long do you think this is going to go? Do you think he's going to drag it out for weeks, or do you think he's going to wait for like a specific day or week to finally do it?
I feel like it's a mix of both because I feel like he's going to drag it out to a certain day.
Yeah.
And it could be in a couple weeks. It could be the end of the month. It could be start of August. We don't know. He could drag it out as much as he can until some specific day. And he's like, all right, now this is when I'm going to do it. Because some people are speculating, like, oh, well, when did he announce he was coming back to Cleveland the second time? Back in 2014. Maybe he does it then. Maybe he does it on this day. So I feel like he's going to drag it out just for a bit. Because again, this is a guy right now who's going out, he's enjoying just going golfing with his buddies. He's enjoying just hanging out at the house.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out and chilling right now. And you could tell he's not that much of in a rush to really make that decision. And who knows, maybe this golfing and stuff like that, he's talking with his friends and whatever, and people around him like, hey, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should stay? Do you think I should go somewhere else? And, I think a lot of it is too, is he's going to talk with his family and see where their minds are at, see how they feel about everything. And I truly believe that at the end of the day, he will come to the decision that, he just wants to stay home. And, it's just figuring out everything after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as of right now, it's just let him enjoy going golfing, let him enjoy Firestone Country Club, let him enjoy his house, and we'll see what it takes him. But I think he will drag it out for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll drag it out for a little bit, but I don't think he's going to drag it out for like weeks.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be maybe around this weekend or sometime next week. I don't think LeBron is going to wait a significant amount of time. It just doesn't make sense for him to wait that long unless he has given a verbal commitment to somebody and then he's letting them sort of get everything sorted out. Other than that, I'm just not sure that I see him waiting 2-3 weeks for this. I just don't.
Yeah, because you know what? He'll make the decision, be like, all right, cool, now I can get back to the golf course.
Like, I was hearing somebody, I think it was actually it was Andy Baskin this afternoon while I was doing my thing. I was listening to them. And he was like, I figure if he's gonna wait some time long, he's gonna wait until it's a day or a night where there's not a lot going on in the sports world. So then he can be the guy that everybody writes about. And truly, like, it makes sense to a degree, but also like it's LeBron. Everybody is gonna stop what they're doing and write about him if that's what it takes. Like, we aren't naive. When writers have the ability to write a quick slot for LeBron, they're gonna do it. Sorry, my mom's here now. So again, I don't think LeBron's gonna wait super long, but it wouldn't surprise me if, let's say, he waits until, I don't know, probably like the night of like the Derby or even the night of the ESPYs, like something like that. I could see that because it's a larger stage and it's a little bit different. But other than that, like, I can just see it dropping on like a random Tuesday and just be like, oh, shoot. All right, sweet. Let's go.
Well, before we end up closing this thing out too, Jeff Teague on his podcast said this about LeBron James. It says Jeff Teague on LeBron James documenting his final season. He's going to be in Cleveland. They're doing a documentary. It doesn't even make sense to be anywhere else. Listen, Bron making this decision. Come on, bro. He did it already. He's not documenting the Wizards. It's going to be perfect with him in Cleveland. You couldn't write this stuff no better, bro. I F with you, LeBron, bro. I F with that. He do whatever the hell he wants, and he still be at the highest level on whatever he do. Like it ain't like he's gonna go somewhere and F up your team.
That's funny.
So
Yeah.
that's what Jeff T had to say. So basically, in Jeff T's mind, he's already made up his decision. His mind's made up. He's doing it. He's going to be in Cleveland because, again, imagine, like you said, not even like 10 minutes ago, doing the documentary in Cleveland. It just makes sense.
Yeah,
it just makes perfect sense to do it back home, one last hurrah, and just doing it here. Why the hell would you do it somewhere else?
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. I think that this is a great way for him to really just start to make his little stamp. And again, this is LeBron. Like, this is what he does. So things are going to get fun. Things are going to get a little dicey, but LeBron knows what he's going to do. Like, I honestly think LeBron knows like what he wants to do. And I think he's putting feelers out just to see if anybody can try to change his mind. But ultimately, it just makes all the sense in the world for him to just go back to Cleveland. It's the happiest he's going to be. And it's also, I would say, the team that gives him the best chance for at least one more title shot. I mean, the Cavs were right there, and then obviously New York came in and just bursted the bubble, but they ran out of gas. Like, the Cavs had a lot of things going bad for them at that point where it was just not really going to happen. But LeBron has the keys to the car, and I think that's why over the next day or two, you're probably going to see the Cavs being very, very, very active in the trade market. They're going to start offloading some sort of salary. And Brad Stainbook just posted like the odds on Kalashi, and now it's like Cleveland 47% instead of the 40% that I said earlier. So now it's going up even more. So somebody knows something. So we're gonna, like I said, I think we'll probably know by this weekend. Like I think LeBron's gonna enjoy the holiday, and then by the weekend, something's gonna give.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it would definitely be sometime after the holiday, and we'll have an announcement that LeBron on where he's going to go.
Yeah, that's my take.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I don't really have too much more. I mean, there's not really much more going on in the league right now. Obviously, we're both wearing Guardians stuff, but the Guardians are playing a little rough right now. They're just going through it. It's just that time of the year where the bat isn't really rolling. There's injuries. The lineup's a little young right now, so guys are just kind of trying to figure it out. And as much as people want to make a big deal of it, I'm not. I just don't. I don't know. This isn't the time yet to start really freaking out about a team.
No, we haven't gotten to All-Star break yet, so it's not the time to panic.
No, but it is time for them to start really considering the fact that they need to start thinking about getting moves. Like, they have too many young guys and they're not really panning out. You might as well offload some of them and try to get somebody who can start now and play now and give you the help now, because some of these guys just can't, unfortunately. So that's kind of the nature of the business. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got for today. I don't know if you had anything else to add or wanted to shout out.
No, I'm all good, man.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week, hopefully with some more LeBron news. I hope the stuff drops by the time that we record the next episode. And if it does drop sometime during the week and we are not able to drop an episode, be sure to tune into our TikTok and stuff, because we will probably post shorts on that as well, giving you guys all of the scoops. Follow us on Twitter/X. And yeah, stay locked in, because we are continuing to roll the punches. We still got another month until Browns, if that. Yeah, almost a month now.
July 31st is the first training camp.
Getting closer to football season, man. So keep it locked, because here soon we're going to start really starting to dive into the Browns and sort of the the camp battles that you're going to see besides QB battles. You got receivers, you got tight ends, you got linemen. There's going to be a lot of different battles in a lot of different positions that are going to start being filled this year. So get ready for that as well. So until next time, see y'all next week.